Where's the music? There we go.
Hi, everyone.
We're back! Surprise!
Our little Easter bunnies. Welcome to Under Further Review.
Did you miss us? I'm Andrew.
I'm Kata.
And we are back. Can we scoot over just a tad?
Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
this.
there we go.
We're working out kinks. It's been a day, guys, because it's Easter. We had golf and football and so much going on today. But as you guys know, this is the show where two lushes get drunk on sports.
That's right.
And we're here to do that with you.
Happy Easter. Happy Passover, everybody. Woo! You look very nice today.
Thank you. I dressed up just for you.
I dressed up because the Bruins won.
I also, really quick, I have a little surprise for you.
For me?
Yeah, I have a present.
What?
I got you an Easter egg.
Aren't these illegal in America?
Are they?
I don't know. It's a Kinder egg. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, of
I'll eat it.
course.
I'll eat it later. Wait.
It was all they had left at Rite Aid.
Should I open it up? I don't know how these work.
I don't really know.
Okay.
I don't know how it works either. We'll figure it
I'll
out
open this later.
But we're gonna jump right in. Let's do a shot.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
What are we drinking?
We're drinking lemon vodka.
Am I going to die?
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
I am too.
Cheers. Welcome
Cheers,
back, everybody.
guys.
Oh, dear. Ooh. If it's got a little bit of flavor, vodka's fine for me.
That actually, after that very stressful setup, that didn't hurt actually at all.
Yeah.
We were going to do the show up on the roof, but it started to get kind of dark, so we came back down here, and it was very much a stressful setup, as those of you who've been watching for the last 4 minutes have seen.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on Facebook Live. We're doing a special show today. It's Sunday because I'm busy tomorrow. But normally, you can find us on Mondays during our season on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Also, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, using the handle UFR Vodcast.
That's us.
We are also on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud. You can find us there as well, also using UFR Vodcast. Please, while you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review and a nice review. That's
Tell
very
us how much
helpful.
you like us. You know?
Please do, because we hang on your feedback. We are nothing without you.
Well, and speaking of feedback, just so you guys know, before we actually get into it, what we're doing today is something a little bit different. We took some advice from some very smart producers, and we're kind of playing with a new layout for season 2. So we have some new segments that we're going to try out today, and we want to hear what you guys think. If you think we're funny, throw us some LOLs. If you think we're boring, throw us some Z's. I don't really give a shit. But we've got a whole bunch going on, and we're really excited to just hop right in.
Let's do it. We had a couple polls while we were gone.
We did.
Only 2 of them.
2 polls.
Believe it or not.
The first poll was, do you still rent DVDs or order them from a website like DVD.com? As we all know, I think I do rent my DVDs still from Netflix.
For some reason, I don't know why.
We don't really understand why. But I do. It's awesome. 18% of you were with me there.
Team Netflix.
And then 82% of you were like, nah. And then the next poll.
Yes. Did you know the Cougars and Panthers are like one and the same?
They're the same thing. Yeah.
I did not know
They're
that.
mountain lions.
Yeah, I was filling out my bracket, and I wanted to know if like the Houston Cougars and then the Georgia State Panthers were like similar, and apparently they are. They're the same thing. And but 71% of you did not know that Panthers and Cougars are the same thing.
I didn't until I did my research.
Yeah.
So
that's strange.
Yeah, and then 29% of you actually knew. Good job. Proud of you. Let's drink.
Yes.
I need your help.
Oh my God. The first beer of the special episode. Angry Orchard Rosé, because it's Easter and these are pastel colors. Cheers.
It's festive.
Angry Orchard Rosés are like my favorite.
They're delicious.
They're amazing.
They're absolutely delicious. I really thought I'd hate them, and they're amazing. Shout outs real quick to Will and Logan.
Yes.
Who are watching with us and yelled at us already. All right. Our first new segment, guys. This is called Quick Calls and Fastballs. So we're doing this draft themed because that is kind of the overarching theme of our show today.
The draft begins on Thursday for those of you who are not familiar with football.
Yeah, it's very exciting. We have what we're going to do is Andrew's going to say what the Giants' 3 biggest needs are and how they're going to get them. And I'm going to have 30 seconds to retaliate. And when that 30 seconds is up, Andrew's going to hit our bell. Its name is Tony Romo.
Because he smiles a lot.
He's always smiling.
He's wonderful. This is what it's going to sound like.
Woo!
So pleasant. We thought about doing a mock draft, but then we thought we'd just be like everybody else. Yeah. So we're doing, I'm going to say 3 things that the Giants need. She's going to say 3 things that the Patriots need. And we'll go back and forth and we'll talk about it.
It's going to be wonderful.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'm really scared and I'm going to start yelling, but okay.
I don't know if you know this, but the Giants traded Odell Beckham away to the Cleveland Browns. But they got the 6th overall pick because of it. So, in my opinion, the 3 things that the Giants need are a quarterback, an offensive line, and defense. Because let's face it, they need to improve literally everywhere. So I'm going to start with quarterbacks. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that they're going to pass on Dwayne Haskins. And they'll only take Kyler Murray if he's available, which he will not be. So it leaves the door open, I think, for a later round pick. If you're really going to draft a quarterback like Trace McSorley from Penn State, I think he'll complement Saquon Barkley very well. I
wrote about that. I know I'm not supposed to interrupt, but I did write about that, and we will post the link later.
Although, honestly, I honestly think that they should stay out of drafting the quarterback and just suck it up with Eli Manning for 1 more year and just hope to get Tua or Trevor Lawrence in next year's draft. The second thing is the offensive line. So I cannot stress how important an offensive line is for your team. considering that the offense has now like been decimated. Eli's on his last leg. Odell is gone. And all you've got is Saquon. So, in my opinion, you need to spend your first-round pick, number 6 overall, on Jawan Taylor, an offensive tackle from Florida, okay? He's going to be helpful to make sure that Saquon doesn't become disillusioned with this franchise after you've shipped Odell off. And if you have a young quarterback, once Eli's, like, been benched, once the Giants go, you know, like 1 in 10, he's got a little bit of protection up front. The third thing is the entire defense, because you can't really be too specific with this team. They need to improve literally everywhere. So for defense, your options are plentiful. You could spend a first-round pick on defensive lineman Quinnen Williams for Alabama, or if you wanted to draft an edge rusher, you could take Josh Allen, the other Josh Allen, from Kentucky. But let me give you a different solution. Let me try this out on you. Devin White from LSU. He's a linebacker. He's a top 15 projected pick. He is one of the best prospects in his class. He's 6 foot, 237. He ran a 4.42 I think he's a solid middle linebacker. He has a little bit of a tendency to play reckless at times, but I think he dominated nickel packages. And if you're trying to replace Alec Ogletree, I think he's your guy.
Do I get to go now?
Yeah. Wait, 30 seconds. Ready, set, go.
All right. So I'm with you. I don't think that we're going to draft a quarterback, at least not the quarterback of the future, with the our first overall pick, which is pick 6. And as they shouldn't, I would love to see them go for someone on defense, though, with that first pick, just because we are so lacking in that department. I wrote another article earlier this week discussing kind of what's going on with the team now that Russell Wilson is off the table and we don't have a quarterback. I did also write about the Trace McSorley situation. That was so fast.
This is fun. Go. Who do the Patriots need?
All right.
Tell me what you think my team needs.
All right. So the Patriots' 3 biggest needs are wide receiver, tight end, and offensive tackle. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think the Patriots are going to trade up with Seattle. Seattle desperately needs more picks. They're one of the few teams that's like, yo, we got nothing. And there are a million teams trying to trade back or trade up, including trade back. So it makes sense. The Patriots would give up their 56th overall pick, which they got from Chicago, their 64th overall pick, and their 73rd overall pick, all to Seattle. Also their 205th pick, which is compensatory. And the Pats get the 21st overall pick and the 124th overall pick. So the move with that then is, now that they'll have this 21st pick, I say you get Noah Fant, tight end, Iowa Hawkeyes, which is the same team that bred George Kittle. They've been known to breed excellent tight ends in the last couple of years with great careers. And 5 out of his 7 records from the combine stats were the highest of all tight ends in the draft. He's an excellent pick. There are only a couple of really great tight ends in this round, and he's one of them. He performatively, he's more Aaron Hernandez than Gronk, which would be a change. But that said, Gronk hurt himself every fucking year. So I don't think this is like a terrible situation. Obviously not in personality. Next move is get A.J. Brown at 32. He's from Ole Miss. He's a first-team All-SEC honors for both the last 2 seasons. So his, I guess, senior season and his junior season. He's kind of similar to Edelman, like in body type. And I think he could fill the Amendola role that they lost with a wideout when Amendola went to Miami as a free agent. But he has a little bit even more potential. And my second choice as a wide receiver then would be Deebo Samuel from the South Carolina Gamecocks. Same reasons. And then lastly, get Max Sharping. He's an offensive tackle in the 3rd round. He's a Northern Illinois Husky. And he played both tackle positions as well as guard in college. So he's very well-rounded. While he's training up, he'll need probably a couple of years, but he'll be able to fill in where it's necessary when players get hurt. At 124th, I think, this is just bonus, but at 124th, you get your defensive tackle, and then you wait for a quarterback for next year.
Love it. Ready? Go. I appreciate you saying they need a quarterback next year, because I think that they're going to trade their first pick, so I appreciate you saying that as well. I like Irv Smith Jr. from Alabama, tight end. He's a big guy. He's a really big guy. The whole Aaron Hernandez, Robert Gronkowski thing is iffy. I don't know about the wide receivers. Belichick continues to baffle me. I think got a lot of faith in his younger players from the practice squad from last year, like Braxton Berrios from Miami, who they drafted last year. So we'll see what happens. 29 seconds. Beer
How
swig.
did you do that? Beer swig.
I had an idea of what I was going to say. Aren't you
I'd
happy
like
that
to
we
get my
didn't?
notes for too long before.
This is true.
This is all, by the way, we haven't really run any of this by each other, so it's very interesting.
This is fantastic. Aren't you happy that we didn't do mock draft? This is so much better.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is, all right, so this next section is called Winners and Losers. This week, Andrew's going to take the winners. I'm going to take the losers.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, because it's Easter, we're introducing our hat. This is a hat, as you all can see.
What's going to happen is we're going to pick topics that have happened either throughout the week or, in our case, throughout the last month or so. And we're going to pick who the winner and the loser of each of those topics was.
Yes. This week, they're in Easter eggs.
Yes, because it's Easter. We have little Easter eggs. Usually they're just going to be pieces of paper, but for now, they're Easter eggs.
Woo!
So, as she said, I'm going to take the winners and you're going to take the losers.
I'm taking the losers this week.
Yeah. You want to go first?
Yeah. All right. Who do we got? There's candy in them too?
Surprise!
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's for you. You go ahead and keep that.
Oh my God, that's so sweet. All right. The NFL schedules are released. The Bears and Packers will open the season on September 5th. Who won that? Who won the schedule release?
I'm going to go and not very far from my own tree and say that the New England Patriots won this one. So hear me out. 3 of their first 4 games were against divisional opponents, which includes going to Miami in September instead of December, and then at Buffalo in September instead of December.
Oof.
They do have to play 5 straight games in the course of the season against 2018 playoff teams. They've got Baltimore, Philadelphia, Dallas, at Houston, and at home against Kansas City.
Okay.
But 2 of those games were on Sunday night, and in my experience, the Patriots are typically very good on Sunday night. And they've got games, the games against Philadelphia, they're going to be against Carson Wentz, and we don't really know what he has to bring to the table against New England yet.
That's a very good point.
The other point is that they're Dallas and Kansas City are both at home. So I don't know how they're going to I feel like they're going to do very well at home against those 2 teams. And then they finish the season with Cincinnati, Buffalo, and Miami. And I think they finish with probably the most favorable schedule in the NFL this year.
All right. Good luck with that.
Thanks.
The loser of the NFL schedule release is Thanksgiving Day as a whole. So the first 2 games are Bears-Lions, which is pretty typical, and Falcons-Saints.
That happened last year.
Which happened last year.
Come on.
Except this year they will be playing in Atlanta.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Whoo! And then the main event is Bills-Cowboys, and that's gross.
I love that.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh,
Are you
mix it
kidding
up.
me? Those are like the 2 grossest teams in.
It's just such a random opponent, the Buffalo Bills. That's so fun.
I just, you know what? They both have very specified fan bases, so I'm happy for them. Great for these fans. I just think it's stupid.
Next Easter egg. Here we go. Oh, there's candy. There's candy in all of them.
I hate doing the losers because it just makes me look like a massive hater. But
well,
whatever.
next time.
Next time he gets to do the loser.
The Virginia Cavaliers won their first NCAA championship, beating Texas Tech in the finals of March Madness.
Okay.
Do you have a loser? Or should I go first?
You go first.
All right, great. So the winner is obviously the Virginia Cavaliers. And not because they won the championship. Hear me out. They lost for the first time to a 16 seed. They were the first 1 seed to ever lose to a 16 seed. And then they win the championship their next year, their first ever in school history. That's a great sports story, man. That's why they're my winner. Who's your loser?
No, I mean I agree. It was a really lovely story. As everybody I think knows, based on our podcast that was released.
We'll tell you about it later.
We'll tell you about that later. I was really pushing for Michigan State. I think the loser in the whole situation is Charles Barkley.
Oh, poor guy.
And it's he's such a nice dude too. I've waited on him. Really nice guy. But Auburn probably could have beat Texas Tech.
They should have beaten Texas Tech. They got hosed on that call.
I know. And
against Virginia. It
was as sad as it is. I feel for you, man. But Charles Barkley lost this, and he lost a lot of. It was hard. It was hard to after Auburn lost to watch the post game because he was just.
He was sad.
He was literally crying, and I have no issue with any kind. It's not emasculating whatsoever. He obviously had a big feeling that they were going to win, and they really should have. So, but he's a loser.
Next.
Wah, wah. Wah, wah. All right. Oh my God, I love all this candy.
It's great. The gummy bears kind of get stuck to the thing, though.
Did you put these in here?
I did. Surprise.
Oh. The NBA playoffs are underway without LeBron James.
Oh my God, LeBron's not in the playoffs.
Do you want me to do the loser first, this one?
Sure.
All right. Loser's Kevin Durant. The Warriors blew a 31-point lead against the Clippers last week, as we knew. It was nonsense, but Kevin Durant will not be a loser for long.
Correct.
As, hear me out,
Mm.
he's going to lead the Knicks to their first championship in over 40 years next season.
I'm rolling my eyes.
Oh,
He also went off for a huge game 3, by the way.
Yeah.
Like a gigantic game 3.
No, he did. He had a good game. Yeah, it was good. But
my winner is D'Angelo Russell, which is kind of like a same thing as yours in that he's both a winner and a loser because the Nets are down 3-1.
Right.
As opposed to the Warriors coming back. But
Sure.
The guy has more playoff wins than the team that drafted him, the Lakers, since he got drafted.
Sure.
Like the fact that he's completely turned the Nets around. He's a candidate for most improved player of the year. If it weren't for folks like Giannis and James Harden and Steph Curry, he would be an MVP candidate. Mm-hmm. So D'Lo is my my winner.
That's a nice underrated pick. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's your turn.
Thank you. Did we talk about this one? The Giants traded Odell Beckham Jr. to the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if you knew this. For Jabot Peppers and a first-round pick. Who lost?
All right. Well, first of all, I lost because I was in Scotland when the news came out, and nobody over there cares. I had no one to talk to. I'm sitting in a jazz club like, what? Yeah. Like losing my fucking shit. And that was, I lost. But beyond me losing, I think the loser is Sterling Shepard.
No.
Because he's going to have way too much weight to carry this year with his new contract extension. He's going to crumble under pressure, and he might, I hope not, but he might lose his job as the number 1 by next season.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. The winner is the Cleveland Browns, obviously. They get Odell Beckham Jr. They've already got Jarvis Landry. They have what is the best offense in the NFC North, and it's a contender for probably the best offense in the AFC.
Anytime anyone shits on the Browns these days, I'm like, do you watch football?
For real.
I don't get it.
We're gonna carry on the bandwagon next year, don't you worry. I won't be happy about it, but we're gonna carry on with it next season, I think.
I'm hoping we go to Cleveland this year for a game.
Maybe.
You and I, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I'm from Cleveland. Go Browns. The Alliance of American Football suspended operations and laid off most of its players and reporters.
I'm just going to go ahead and give this a big L.
We're just going to, we discussed this when it happened, and we have decided that losers all around.
Yeah.
Just a massive fucking loser. There are no winners. They all lost.
There was one guy who already got signed by a team.
There's a couple. There's actually a couple.
On the whole, they're all...
have all...
Not the players, the franchise.
Yes.
The league as a whole.
Well, the players too. I mean, I'm not saying it proudly, but you're a loser.
I mean, the league, yeah.
You didn't win anything,
yeah.
So.
I just didn't garner enough interest, I'm sure.
Yeah. Is this our last one?
No, we got one more after this one.
All right.
April baseball is here. The Brewers, Rays, and Dodgers are hot. The Red Sox and Yankees are not.
All right. You want to go first?
Sure.
You go first.
My winner is not Christian Yelich or Cody Bellinger. It is Bryce Harper. And I will tell you why. The dude got absolute revenge on his former team. He struck out twice against Max Scherzer, and then he went deep off him and he had 3 hits. So, the guy got his comeuppance. The Nationals got their comeuppance. Mm-hmm. And, Bryce Harper's my winner, at least so far.
I hate that I hate that it's true just because it's
it is.
Bryce Harper. Yeah. As much as I want to put him on top of a table and just whatever. Okay. Anyways, my loser is the Yankees. Because as of yesterday, Aaron Judge exited the game in the 6th inning with an oblique injury. Today it was announced right before the game, which they won, by the way. So I guess maybe they're not as losery.
They blew a 6-run lead, by the way.
They did, and
in one inning.
It was a lot, but I mean, also they had 6 ahead early in the game, but he's now on 10-day IR, just adding to their wounded roster of crippled young beautiful men, and it makes me so sad. Sorry, Yankees.
Last one. Here you go.
Okay. Ooh. The Stanley Cup playoffs are in full swing.
We're talking hockey on this show. Excellent. The Stanley Cup playoffs are here. They're in full swing.
Hockey.
Oh, hockey's great. I'm going to go first.
Yep.
The winner so far, if you've been following, is the New York Islanders. Mm-hmm. So Barry Trotz was the former coach of the Washington Capitals who won the Stanley Cup last year, and he jumped ship and went to the Islanders this year. Keep in mind that the Islanders traded away or let their best player, John Tavares, walk to Toronto as well. They just swept the Pittsburgh Penguins in 4 games, and it was not close. So, I mean, Robin Lehner, the goalie, has had an incredible season thus far. If the Capitals win their series against the Hurricanes, it'll be Trotz against his former team for a chance to go to the East Final. I think the Islanders are the big winner here.
I'm going to keep this short and sweet because we all know I hate talking about hockey. The loser is Tampa, swept by Columbus, had the record for most games ever won before postseason, had a chance, blew it, RIP my BFF Jill.
They got fucking swept. They got swept.
My brother says, yay, hockey.
Ugh, they got swept. Poor Tampa.
Yeah, I do feel bad about that.
Yeah.
But, by the way, also, I did go to my first ever professional hockey game since we last sat here in front of this camera.
How'd that go?
I went to the last Rangers game of the season, and we lost.
Hell yeah.
And I got wasted.
Draft pick. Speaking of getting wasted, beer swig. This has been Winners and Losers.
And now...
our next segment is we're gonna move into some smaller segments here. This one's called Gronk Watch 2019 because Gronk retired.
Yep.
And
we're gonna see what he does.
We're just gonna follow him and just see what he does.
We're really excited about this. So this week in Gronk news, we found out that the former Patriots tight end dented the Lombardi Trophy when he hit a baseball.
You
with it.
idiot! Ugh. Do you think they can get a new one? They have to be able to get a new one.
No, they don't need a new one.
I also wonder what do you
They don't need a new one. It's funny.
It doesn't get added to the collection.
Of course
it's not like
it
they have
does.
7 now. It's not like they have 7.
I think it's funny.
It is hilarious.
And that was This Week in Gronk News.
Hooray!
And that's that segment.
Beer swig. Excellent.
I'm ready for a new one.
Mm-hmm. While you get a new one, I'm going to go ahead and introduce this.
Yeah, but I need you to open it for me.
Oh my God, okay. I'm going to introduce this newest segment. We decided that we liked or hated SportsCenter Stats so much that we're going to introduce a segment on it. This is called Dumb SportsCenter Stats. And for the first one, it's less dumb and more like fun. I've got a couple of little tidbits that I found just in the last couple of weeks. So the first one is in regards to the NFL. The Atlanta Falcons will play 13 games inside this season. 13. They've got 8 at home. They've got New Orleans, Minnesota, Indianapolis, Houston, and Arizona on the road.
Mm-hmm.
For comparison, the New York Jets, Cincinnati Bengals, and Baltimore Ravens will altogether play a combined total of 0 indoor games. You think the Falcons are screwed if they get to a playoff game and they have to play outside?
No, I just think it's a dumb stat.
They're going to play 3. The Falcons are playing 3 games outside all year long. Come on, NFL.
I just think the stat is. I don't think it matters.
Do your job.
I don't think. And Atlanta is such a seasonal city. They actually have seasons. I don't think it matters. These players are professionals.
Stat number 2. To go around the earth one time, it takes 24,901 miles. And one NFL team, the Oakland Raiders, will travel 35,355 miles this season.
That's nuts.
Which is the most in the NFL. It's more than a trip around the sun. It does feature a game in London, so I mean you have to account for that. John Gruden is not a good traveler, as he said in interviews before, and the Raiders already have the toughest schedule in the NFL, so they may as well just go ahead and embrace the tank and fall to the bottom of the.
I actually think that's a really cool stat.
That what? They have to travel 35,000 miles?
Yeah.
Longer than one trip
Longer
around
than
the
a
Earth?
trip around the Earth. I actually think that's a really cool stat. I disagree with you that is a stupid stat.
No, I don't think it's a stupid stat. I think it's more of a fun stat.
The segment's called Stupid SportsCenter Stats. Real quick, Jacob Stewart. Hi, Jake. Going to his wedding soon. Real excited. He says regarding the Patriots, they will have 7 next year.
Great. Awesome. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it. The final stat is Joey Votto is a first baseman for the Cincinnati Reds. In a game this past weekend, he popped out to first base for the first time in his career. It was his first fly out to first base in 6,829 career at-bats. The guy has been in the league for 12 years. 12 years. He entered the league in 2007. It's 2019, and his first pop-up to first base was this past weekend.
Oh, Lord.
That's ridiculous. And this has been Stupid SportsCenter Stats with Andrew.
Cheers. Swig.
Oh, my God. You're on your second one. I knew this. I opened it.
All right, kids. Now it's time for my segment. It's called Pumping the Brakes. What's going to happen when I do this segment is I'm going to talk about something that's been overhyped and why it should not be. There were a couple of different options for this week. Another very serious consideration for me was this Aaron Rodgers Bleacher Report piece in relation to his relationship with Mike McCarthy. But I'm going to talk about the Robert Kraft tapes.
I'm going to sit back and listen.
Because I think that the Robert Kraft tapes being released or sold or whatever ends up happening is the worst possible idea in the world. It only further harms the victims in this situation, which there has been a new report as of this past week that these women were not victims of human trafficking. They were, in fact, sex solicitors, sex workers. Now, here's the thing. First off, obviously, sex trafficking is a huge problem. I would like to repeat that. Sex trafficking is a huge problem. And after this week's report that these women were voluntary sex workers, the narrative definitely changes. Kraft has now pled not guilty to solicitation of sex services, and 12 workers have been charged with prostitution. Now, whether or not these women were sex workers or not, there is this criminalization that it's currently occurring in our culture of sex work. And it's so prevalent right now. And it's also a huge problem because voluntary sex work has suffered upon the passing of a bill that I've mentioned several times throughout the course of this show and the first season, Bill 1683. It's the FOSTA SESTA package, and it's illegal now to safely solicit sex services online or in like media. It's throwing a lot of sex workers back onto the street and forcing them to find less safe options to do their work. Also, the second that these women's faces are released, it has the potential to absolutely ruin their lives. And a lot of them have families at home that they're supporting, children. They've already been in prison now for 2 months, which is absolutely absurd, unable to work, unable to do what they need to do to support these families. I think it's also worth mentioning that Florida is actually one of few states in this country where police are allowed to have sexual conduct with sex workers in order to obtain a low-level charge of prostitution, which is so scary. This is an action that could easily be called sexual assault or rape, because these police officers, investigators, whoever it may be, are effectively lying about their identities to these people. And the second that you're misidentifying yourself, that does constitute, to me, sexual assault or rape. To release this video would, even if these women voluntarily participated in these acts, leave them in public scrutiny because of the way that sex work is so criminalized in this country. And that doesn't appear to be changing anytime soon. So I'm Kata Stevens, and I'm pumping the brakes on the media's release of the Robert Kraft sex tapes, the criminalization of sex work, and honestly, any further conversation about the Orchids of Asia Day Spa beyond sex work should be, first off, voluntary, and second, if voluntary, celebrated and allowed.
Pump the brakes, kids.
Beer swig.
Beer swig.
We haven't lost any of you guys. I'm really impressed.
I know. Me too.
We're doing a good job.
We're like almost at the end here.
I know.
What's the best thing you saw this week?
All right.
Because we have to continue that segment because it's great.
It's so good, guys. The best thing I saw this week was the RBC Heritage, which happens in one of my hometowns, Hilton Head Island. It's a beautiful island, and Hilton Head looks beautiful on TV. I've really enjoyed watching it these past few days on CBS.
I love that they fire a cannon when the first person of the day tees off.
Yeah!
I think that's so fun.
It's really cool. You can, like, hear it at my house. That's not true. Oh, God. What's the best thing you saw this week, Andrew?
So, it's a guy by the name of I'm probably going to butcher his name, Todd Angeli. He is one of the national anthem singers for the Boston Bruins. I learned that after he sings, he literally goes back up to the 5th floor where he continues his other job. He's a bartender at the TD Garden.
Shut up.
He works as a bartender. He, in the middle of his shift, right, goes downstairs, puts a suit jacket and another shirt on, sings the national anthem, and goes back upstairs to continue selling beer.
Oh, my God.
He's a trained opera singer. He went to New England Conservatory. He's great.
That is so cool.
That's so awesome.
Good for Todd.
That's the best thing I saw.
We're giving a round of applause to Todd.
Round of applause for
awesome.
Todd. Appreciate it. New segment. What's the best thing you're going to see this week?
The best thing I'm going to see is the Giants passing on Haskins with their 6th overall pick.
One can only hope.
That's all I have to say on that.
Yep.
What's the best thing you're going to see, Andrew?
Mine's along the same lines. It's a team royally effing up their first pick in the draft. One can only hope that it's the Giants and that they go with Dwayne Haskins, and then their entire future is in jeopardy.
Oh, God. All right, kids. We're doing our final segment a little bit differently, where we say cheers and we chug our drinks.
We're not going to do a bet this week because our next show is going to be. This is like a one-time thing. We're going to do our next thing when the new season starts up
in August.
Yeah.
So we're leaving you for a little bit. But do you want to do the first plug or do you want me to?
Sure. I'll do the first plug. So what's going to happen is
I'm going to chug while he plugs.
Yeah. So this is called the plug and chug. So I'm going to read a thing. I'm going to do a thing, and you're going to chug. Let me get it out here. Hold on. Ready? Papers are falling everywhere. I'm blowing it. Where is it? Do you have the run sheet? Oh my God. Okay, great. Cool.
You're gonna have to go fast.
Ready, set, go. Cool. So we have graduated into actually like creating some real bonus content for you guys. And one of those, if you listen to our actual like podcast, we're doing a new segment called Wasted Interviews, where we take people that we know and just talk to them about like sports or pop culture or whatever the hell that we want, because this is our show, damn it. So while we get them drunk. So please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, and you can hear these drunk interviews. We have one that we posted yesterday with our friend Chelsea Gavanaro. She's our Massachusetts correspondent. I know she's watching. Shout out to Chelsea. So yeah, we're on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud, but not Google Play because we're not that cool yet. So great. Give us a listen. Have a listen to our drunk interviews.
We're on SoundCloud now? Oh wait,
we've always been on SoundCloud.
I'm sorry. I thought you said I'm drunk.
Not
Spotify.
Google,
sorry.
Not Spotify. Not yet. We're not that cool yet. So yeah, go ahead and check out our Wasted Interviews on Apple Podcasts.
I did a pretty good job. Oh, I didn't ask you to do that. Rude.
Well, it's already done. Ready, set, go.
All right, plug 2. We created is it Patreon or Patreon?
Mm-hmm.
Patreon?
Mm-hmm.
Patreon. We hope you guys are enjoying your spring and this delicious bonus content such as drunk interviews and this bonus show. We've got more coming for you, but we need your help. So check out our Patreon, which is in the bio of this video. And if you can afford to throw us a couple bucks to support the show, like recent donor Chelsea Cavanaro, who we shouted out like 4 times the show, we'll hook you up with some cool swag and stuff. There's a bunch of different things that we can give you. We're also going to start doing giveaways. It's going to be really fun. He's done. Now I don't have to ask you guys to give us money anymore.
Thank you guys for joining us on this very special Easter bonus episode of Under Further Review.
I know. Thank you guys for cutting time out of your day for us, from being with your families or not, or whatever you're doing.
Any last words?
Leave us comments. We did have quite a few actual live viewers this time around, which was really wonderful.
Yeah, seriously, tell your friends.
But leave us comments on what you guys liked about this show and what you didn't. These are only like 6 of our new segments that we're introducing. We have a list of like 5,000. So we're really excited to hear your feedback. It's kind of like a trial run for season 2, though. Season 2, we are also moving to a multi-camera setup.
Spoilers, sort of.
I feel confident. I'm excited.
Fair enough. Hopefully. Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Do you have final words?
If the Bruins don't win on Tuesday, I'm going to lose my shit.
All right. Well,
this has been Under Further Review.
I'm Kata.
I'm Andrew. We don't have any beers to chug. Bye, guys.
I mean, we have them. We can open new ones.
No, I don't want to. Great. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Happy
guys.
Easter.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, we should do like a little clinky clink. Clinky clink.